All right, so get ready to dive deep today. We're talking Libra and Aquarius compatibility. And from what I've seen so far, it's an interesting one. Some definite highs, but also some potential pitfalls along the way. So what's the first thing that comes to mind with this pairing?
Well, right off the bat, you see that both Libra and Aquarius are air signs.
Mm,
And yeah, everyone always talks about that whole air sign communication thing. But it's really more than just like enjoying the same books or having those deep philosophical talks. It's deeper than that. It's about a certain synergy in how they communicate. You know what I mean?
okay, yeah, no, I get you. So how would you describe that communication style? Like, what does it actually look like in a real life Libra-Aquarius relationship?
Let me see. Okay, imagine this. It's a Friday night, right? And instead of just being like, oh, what movie do you want to watch? They end up spending an hour brainstorming this elaborate themed date night around, like a documentary they both loved, that kind of thing.
Interesting. Yeah, I can see that constant back and forth. It sounds kind of stimulating, actually. But, our sources also suggest that things can get pretty spicy between these two. Like, apparently, Aquarius can really bring out Libra's, well, let's just say their more adventurous side in the bedroom.
Yeah, and that's fascinating because Libra, for all their charm and, diplomacy, they can be surprisingly concerned with what other people think, especially when it comes to, those more intimate aspects of life.
Yeah.
But an Aquarius partner, they just don't care about that stuff.
Yeah.
So they kind of give Libra permission to let go of those expectations and be themselves.
So instead of worrying about what's proper, they can just, explore what feels good.
Precisely. Imagine a Libra who's always been curious about something, but too afraid to try it because of what others might think.
Mm-hmm.
An Aquarius partner comes along and basically says, hey, screw that, let's do it. It creates this safe space for Libra to really break free from those inhibitions.
That's a side of Libra I think a lot of people would want to see. But hold on a second, because our sources also mention that even something as simple as deciding where to eat can become, well, a whole thing for these two. So, how does that whole air sign harmony thing just disappear so fast?
Well, you got to remember, even though they're both air signs, they have their quirks. A Libra, with their need for balance and harmony, might spend like an hour reading every single online review, just trying to find the absolute perfect spot, While an Aquarius, they'd probably be happy just grabbing some street tacos from that place they discovered on a whim last week.
Oh, man, I know that struggle. The eternal battle between spontaneity and careful planning.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. Talk about a recipe for some interesting dinner conversations. But okay, so that clash between spontaneity and planning, I feel like that could easily spill over into some bigger issues, right? And speaking of issues, our sources suggest that trust can be a big one for Libra and Aquarius, which is kind of surprising, don't you think? I mean, they're both all about communication.
Right. You'd think they'd have that part down pat. But, both signs can be a little, well, insecure sometimes. They tend to, how should I put it? They need a lot of reassurance. And not always from the healthiest places either.
So it's less about actual infidelity and more about that need for constant validation.
Exactly. Imagine a Libra, always striving for that perfect relationship, freaking out over every comment their partner makes on social media,
Mm.
Or an Aquarius, super independent but secretly craving approval, feeling totally ignored if their partner doesn't like gush over their latest art project.
Oof, yeah. I think we've all been there at some point, right? It sounds like for this pairing to work, they really need to be each other's biggest cheerleaders, instead
Yeah.
of looking for it from outside sources.
Totally. Like, make a pact to be each other's biggest fans. Because, yeah, if they don't get that affirmation from within the relationship, well, that's when things can get messy. They might start seeking it elsewhere. And we all know where that road leads.
It's not good. Okay, so communication is key, but building that solid foundation of trust, even more important. And speaking of foundations, our sources also pointed out a pretty significant difference in how Libra and Aquarius view long-term commitment, like the M word.
Ah, yes. Marriage. Now, this is where things get really interesting. Because you see, Libra, often the ultimate romantic, tends to see marriage as like the ultimate expression of love, right? The fairy tale ending, the beautiful tradition, all that. But Aquarius, with their independent nature and, well, their aversion to being tied down, let's just say they might not be rushing to the altar.
It's like Libra's got their wedding Pinterest board all planned out, while Aquarius is like, but what about my solo backpacking trip through the Himalayas?
Okay, a little dramatic, but you get the idea. It's that whole tension between, like, security and freedom. Libra wants the stability, the social recognition, the whole package, while Aquarius might worry about losing themselves, their sense of individuality, if they commit to something so, well, permanent.
So how do they even begin to reconcile those two very different perspectives? It's like they're speaking two completely different languages.
Honestly, it all comes back to that communication thing. They've got to be brutally honest with each other about what marriage really means to them. Like, deep down, what are their expectations? What are their fears? It's not always easy to have those conversations, but it's crucial.
It's like laying all the cards on the table, even if it's a little scary, right?
Exactly. And who knows, maybe through those tough conversations, they'll find a way to redefine commitment altogether, create something unique and authentic to their relationship, something that honors both of their needs.
It's like they say, right? Sometimes the scariest conversations are the ones that lead to the biggest breakthroughs. But okay, enough about the heavy stuff for a minute. Our sources all agree that one of the best things about a Libra-Aquarius pairing is their communication style.
For sure. Out of all the potential challenges, this is definitely their strong suit. They just get each other.
So even when disagreements inevitably happen, because let's face it, no couple agrees on everything all the time. Libra and Aquarius are more likely to talk it through than let things fester.
100%. Like, imagine this. Instead of bottling up their frustration over something, a Libra calmly explains to their Aquarius partner why they're upset. And an Aquarius, instead of getting defensive or shutting down, actually listens and tries to find a solution.
Now that is communication goals right
Yeah.
there. But let's talk about those day-to-day compatibility quirks for a minute. Because our sources mention that Aquarius' spontaneous nature and Libra's love of planning, yeah, that can be a recipe for disaster. Or at least some very interesting situations.
Oh, absolutely. Imagine this scenario. Aquarius gets home from work on, like, a random Tuesday, and they surprise Libra with tickets to a concert. That starts in an hour. But Libra, they've already planned out the entire week's meals, color-coded their to-do list, and even picked out their outfit for tomorrow's meeting.
Oh no, I can practically feel the Libra anxiety from here.
Right. It's a classic case of Clash of the Titans. Libra might feel like their partner's being inconsiderate, while Aquarius might see Libra as like a total stick in the mud.
So how do they find that balance where neither person feels like they're constantly having to compromise who they are at their core?
Patience and understanding, mostly. Aquarius can learn to give Libra a little more notice, even if it's just a few hours instead of a last-minute thing. And Libra, well, they might need to loosen up a bit. Embrace the chaos every now and then. Trust that a change in plans isn't the end of the world.
Easier said than done for some Libras, I know. But hey, that's what personal growth is all about, right? So, after diving deep into the world of Libra and Aquarius compatibility, what's the final verdict? Are these two a match made in the cosmic heavens, or are we looking at a relationship destined for constant turbulence?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And I think the answer is, it's complicated. There's incredible potential here. The intellectual connection is undeniable, their communication style is top-notch, and let's not forget that electric chemistry in the bedroom. But they can't ignore those very real challenges. Building trust, navigating those emotional landmines, and figuring out if their long-term goals actually align.
It sounds like the success of this pairing really hinges on their willingness to put in the work, to truly understand and appreciate each other's differences, even when it's hard.
100%. Because at the end of the day, a fulfilling relationship isn't about finding someone who perfectly mirrors your every thought and desire. It's about finding someone who challenges you, who pushes you to grow, and who helps you create something beautiful and unique together.
Beautifully said. And on that note, to all our listeners out there, whether you're a Libra, an Aquarius, or somewhere else entirely on the zodiac wheel, remember this. Relationships are a journey of self-discovery, of understanding, and of embracing the beautiful messiness that comes with connecting with another human being. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll see you next time.